Good morning, folks. How are we all today? I hope we're all well. Some cracking stuff in the papers this morning, folks. And I mean cracking. But let's have a look, see who's in before we get there. Hi, Hootsman, Alistair Kerr, Rosie, Jeanette, Desiree, Mel, Ange, the other Davy, Liz Shields, Hootsman. Ange did me a wee list, wee bug, Kirsty, John, Kevin's in this morning. Morning, Kevin. Christina, the Two Davies, Alan Scott, Scotland, Graham Eason, Roddy. Hi, Roddy. Holly, Molly, it's awful busy today. Hi, Lorna. Hi, Mark Telfer. Hi, Stephen Nichol. Hi, Reagan Elite. Hi, Graham, up there in a freezing cold Perth. Morning, Alan. Morning, John. The Scotland Effect, good morning. Robert. Oh, another big list. See if there's anybody on it I missed. Tommy Murray, Martin Williams, Ted Boy, Stephen Bankier, Aki's Mad, Sir Larry Cat, how do? Last Braveheart, June Dalrymple. I think that's about covered everybody. George Docherty, Hootsman, Wee Bird, Tommy. Right, back down the bottom again, folks. Get back to where we're meant to be. Right then, we're up over 100 marks, so let's get this broadcast underway, shall we? Indy Truck Davy out the truck now at home in his office on the 20th of 11th, 2025, where it is a beautiful sunny morning, 0 degrees. Today's high will be 3. And humidity is quite low today at 64%. The air is much drier. Wind 6 to 14 mile an hour. And same as yesterday, pollen couldn't, Disney couldn't. Right, as I say, there's some cracking stuff in the papers this morning, so let's get into it, shall we? First up this morning, the Scotsman. You're going to fucking love this, folks. And I mean that. Calls for extended pub hours and huge World Cup fans park. So we're still in Scotland and reaching the World Cup. Wonderful stuff, you know. But the sheer hypocrisy, and we'll get to the hypocrisy of these papers when we go on to the next fucking rag. Okay. And you'll be going, hypocrisy, what are you talking about? Well, as I say, we'll get there when we go on to the next rag. Okay. So next up, we've got the loony right-wing knuckle draggers rag, the Express. Now, what's the Express got for us this morning? Calls to relax strict licensing laws during next year's World Cup matches. The fucking hypocrisy of it. Extend our pub hours for thirsty Scotland fans. Now, where does the hypocrisy come into it, folks? Well, that's simple. The minute the drug and alcohol death figures hit the papers, this lot will be screaming that it's the Scottish Government's fault. Never mind the fact that drugs and alcohol policy is reserved. But here we have the very papers who berate the Scottish Government over the drugs death and alcohol death figures here in Scotland, screaming for more damage to be placed in front of the people of fucking Scotland. You could not make this stuff up, folks. You just couldn't. The very same rags that scream foul at drugs and alcohol deaths in Scotland are screaming to extend the drugs and alcohol death fucking time limit. Couldn't they make it up? No, you could. As I say, the hypocrisy in the papers this morning is mind-bending. Right, next up, we've got a cracking lie. And I mean a flat-out lie. You can tell there's an election coming. This particular headline is a flat-out lie from the other right-wing knuckle-draggers fucking paper. It doesn't matter that they're set the middle-class knuckle-draggers. They're still fucking knuckle-draggers. Okay, what's the Gammons rag got for us this morning? Well, the Daily Fail has. Now ditch your gas boilers or face 15,000 fine. Now, what this rag is saying is that in a hypothetical situation where the SNP are the next government, They might hypothetically pass a bill to demand that you change away from polluting fossil fuels in your home and transition over to a clean heating system, like a heat pump, or maybe wet electric. But these are all hypotheticals. First, they're going to win the election, and secondly, the bill's going to pass its journey through the parliament. So this is made up, contrived fucking nonsense. Now ditch your gas boilers or face 15,000 fine. Firstly, the SNP haven't been re-elected, and secondly, there's been no bill passed. It tells you in the article that there's been no bill passed to demand that people change from gas to heat pumps. In fact, if you've been paying attention to papers last week, you'll realise that apparently the SNP government has kicked into the long grass proposition to have everybody move out of clean energy in their homes. It's been kicked into the long grass. But this week, it's going to get you fined. This hypothetical bill with a hypothetical government that hasn't been elected yet. You could not make that shite up. You couldn't. Morning, Andy. Look, Screen Cleaner last night was brilliant, folks. It was on e-petitions. So if you haven't seen it, nip over to Andrew Luke's channel. It's brilliant. It really is. It's well put together. It's witty. It's really good. And needless to say, myself and Daily Blazer on it, so that helps. Right, let's get this fucking hypothetical nonsense done. Next up, we require you to do a wee bit better than this National. I'm telling you, get a fucking grip. The National has Labour plotting to slash electricity costs for AI firms, tech giants to pay less while families struggle. Now, I don't like to bash on the National, but I've got to here. I really have. Why? Well, because commercial enterprises and domestic dwellings have already got different tariffs. Because if they didn't have, then commercial enterprise wouldn't be viable. So this is mere hypothetical bollocks from the National, and we expect better for the National. Leave the nonsense to the non-papers that support, the papers who do not support Scottish independence, but that is as bad as the headlines in the Scotsman, the Express and the Fail. It's poor. It's nonsense. Commercial enterprises and domestic dwellings already have different power tariffs. National, hold your head in shame. You've let us down. That is fucking dreadful. Next up, the Herald. What nonsense the Herald got for us this morning. The Herald has UK cuts could derail plans for Scottish affordable homes. Now, what's this based on? Well, this is the Minister for Housing up here, Mary McCallan, saying that the uncertainty down that road on what's going to be spent on housing means that she can't plan ahead because, of course, there would be consequentials. But that would be if the English government or the UK government were building these houses, but they're not. Private contractors are building them. And as for their plan to get 5 million houses built in 5 years, way off. Way off. Never going to make it. But really, this is just mere nonsense. But it is very true that Mary can't plan for housing here in Scotland until we know what's being spent in housing by the Westminster government, because there is consequences based on infrastructure. Gary, you've just turned your heating off. Far too expensive. We'll wrap up warm, mate. There's not getting any warmer outside. You wonder, Kevin, you wonder how many AI companies or brass plaques will be set up to benefit from skimming the AI money. Aye. Right, anyway, that's a Herald. That's telling us that we can't plan housing because Westminster is in disarray. They're planning to build X amount of houses went out the window when Angela Rayner went out the door. Right, next up we'll get the Times. What's the Times got for us this morning? Russia in uncharted territory after ship aims laser at RAF pilot. Nothing uncharted about it. The RAF will do fuck all about it. And the UK is certainly not going to enter into conflict with Russia because, let's face it, we had the report from the Defence Committee saying that they can't defend themselves. So saying that they can't defend the citizens here on these islands. Sorry, the subjects down south and the citizens here in Scotland and citizens in Wales. Right, and trans guides to protect women is left in limbo. Well, I was having a look at the crime stats on trans people offending against women, and guess what? They are so fucking small, there isn't a category registered that's separate for any other crimes against women. Now, if the trans people were a threat to women, it would be categorised and the crimes would be logged. But they're not. Why aren't they? Because trans people aren't a threat to men, women, children, nobody. What a fucking nonsense. I have to drive you in the twist. And Miliband to deliver cheap energy but bigger bills. Now that's fucking mental gymnastics at a different level altogether. He's going to provide cheaper energy at higher costs. I guess the energy companies are going to make lots of money, yeah? Thank you, Alistair. A wee bit to help with baby food banks. Extra help when the cold snap. Thank you, dear boy. Thank you. Only a few days to start getting out again. We're going to Inverclyde and Renfrew this time, folks. All right? Just so that you know. But that's the three headlines of that, and they're fucking no real. The main one about trans women or trans people being a threat to women. Never so much shite in all your life. Wow. Right, after the Times, we've got the Tory graph, which is a norm. Cash for land deal to end war in Ukraine. You know, when I was looking at it, I'm saying to myself, is that coming for the Tories? Because that's generally how they do things, the Tories. They fucking wreck them, then try and buy them on the cheap. They wrecked the public services, sold them after themselves on the cheap. Now they're suggesting that Zelensky says to Putin, okay, you can have the Donbass, give me X amount of cash. I guess they think Zelensky's a fucking Tory. Because that's how the Tories do things. They get any power, they wreck things, then they sell them off on the cheap, generally to them fucking selves. Wow. Right, next up. I believe it is the eye. And it is. Flying through this morning, folks. Flying through it. Because it's all fucking nonsense. If that's what passes for news, we're in trouble, folks. 10% council tax hike for millions in England as number 10 copies Scotland. Number 10 copies Scotland, is it? So it's going to slash English council tax bills by £1,000 per year. And it's going to introduce 6-7 tax bans to shore up public services, is it? Right, for a start, you can, in Scotland, you cannot raise council tax by 10% without having a referendum in the area. It's capped at a maximum of 5% by the Scottish Government. So 10% council tax hike for millions in England as number 10 copies Scotland. If number 10 was going to copy Scotland, there'd be an 11-year council tax freeze. Your council tax would be scratched, it would be halved on Band D. What a fucking load of nonsense. 10% council tax hike. There's never been a 10% council tax hike in Scotland, ever. The average is between 2 and 4%, maximum 5%, capped by the government. Right, Alistair, where you go? So fucking fed up with the anti-trans and the MSN, they can fuck off. They're people. That's very true, Alistair. Right, after the eye we have, but 10% council tax has been hiked in England, being blamed on Scotland. No, it's got nothing to do with Scotland. It's got to do with the fact that you people doing that road don't want to pay fucking taxes, so your public services are shite. Pay your fucking taxes, England! And make your rich pay them too. People with aversion to paying taxes complain that public services don't work. Fucking idiots! Pay your fucking taxes! Fucking people with aversion to paying tax complain about public services. You couldn't make it up. It went up 11% this year, did it? I thought it was capped at 5%, Duncan. Did you have a referendum in that area? Or has somebody changed the rules? I need to look into that, Duncan, because that shouldn't be allowed to happen. That shouldn't be able to happen, never mind allowed to happen. It's supposed to be capped at 5%. But, as I say, people in England complaining about public services when they don't want to pay their fucking taxes. You couldn't make it up. And then get after heed of a 2p tax rise so that they can get a doctor's appointment. Fuck. They want good public services. They want to pay tax. Next up's The Guardian. Starmer calls on Farage to address racism claims. So, genocidal, enabling, racist, kid starver wants Farage to sort out his racism. Well, Zionist bastard Starmer, when are you going to sort out your racism? The racism that's strong within you that it allows you to sleep at night while children are being slaughtered by your fucking paymaster. Who's Starmer to talk about racism? Is the standing by and watching the Palestinian people being fucking butchered? No, an example of racism, Mr. Starmer? Just so happens that the people you're racist against are Palestinian. Fuck. Starmer demanding anybody sort out their point of view when he sleeps peacefully in his fucking bed at night while the Israelis slaughter fucking children. You going to work, Andy? Have a good day, my friend. Have a good day. So Starmer demands that Farage sorts out his racism when Starmer's racism allows him to go to sleep at night while children are being fucking slaughtered by his paymasters in Israel. It's enough to make you vomit. Right, next up is a metal. What nonsense does it go for this morning? Russians hack fertility clinic. Why? That's going to be the question. Why? Why would the Russians want to hack into a fertility clinic? Do they not know how to sequence DNA? Are they needing sperm donors if they killed that many young people with this bloody war with Ukraine? Why would Russia want to hack a fertility clinic? And apparently there's fears they're going to put the details of the people who use that fertility clinic out in the black web or the dark web, whatever it is. So Russia are now hacking fertility clinics. Aye, really? Really? Wow. Really? Russians hacking fertility clinics. You know when they're making shite up, don't you? You know when they're making shite up because it's nonsensical. Why would you hack a fertility clinic? You want to know how many sperm donors there are in the UK. You want to know how to sequence genome. Ah, Jesus. Right, as you can see, I've put the book down, which means I don't need to look at any notes. I didn't look at any anyway. I've still got it fresh in my head for writing it this morning. Let's see what this is fucking stupid rag the stars got for us this morning. No doubt there's no boffins involved. What's the star got for us? Adam and fiancée Holly hit out. PT slams his family. I don't know who PT is, I don't know who Holly is, and I don't fucking care. I really don't. If you want to know what this nonsense is about, folks, I'm afraid you're going to have to go out and buy the rag yourself, because I just didn't have the inclination to look into who these people were and why they're having a family feud. Celebrity nonsense. I'm not interested in celebrity nonsense. Anybody got any spare blood pressure tablets? Well, didn't know you were needing blood pressure tablets, Greg. I don't have a blood pressure problem because I rant. It gets my frustrations out. So I don't have high blood pressure. So it's not a problem for me to rant. It's a good way of letting off steam. And if you don't want to rant, find yourself a quiet place in a corner somewhere and fucking scream at the wall. Scream at the wall. Scream at the sky. Whatever. It's just a massive release of tension. And it's good for you. So there's no need for blood pressure tablets. But thank you very much for your contribution to the food bank fund, Greg. Thank you. And thank you very much for your concern over my blood pressure. So, folks, if you're interested in who this Adam PT is and his fiancée, I'm afraid you're going to have to look it up yourself, because I don't do celebrity fucking nonsense. Now, folks, thanks for tuning in. Your huge numbers today. 151 of you watching live right now. Now, that was 13 different newspapers, and every single one of them was talking shite. There was no news. There was contrived nonsense. Demands for more alcohol to be put in front of people with an alcohol problem. You couldn't make it up. You really couldn't. And then, of course, complaints about hiking tax in England in order to pay for public services. They want to complain their public services are shite, but they don't want to pay their taxes. Couldn't make it up. You really couldn't. Right, that's it for the day. No, it's Thursday. We're back at 4 o'clock. Anyway, I've got to nip out for an hour. I'll probably take the iPad with me and sit down somewhere in a cafe and start writing there while I'm having something to eat. So we've got some sort of programme to put in front of you this afternoon. So we'll be back at 4 o'clock, folks. Look after yourself. It's cold out. Wrap up when you're out. Watch it. Slippy underfoot as well. And if you're in a rural area like me where there is snow and ice underfoot, just be very careful, okay? Oh, Charlie's popping his head up there. So we'll see you this afternoon at 4 p.m. I'm away to investigate an 11% council tax rise and how it managed to happen and